Sunday. Coach said you guys kind of got back to playing how you typically play. What does that look like, and why do you feel like you guys were able to get to that point?
I think it really meant like our defense. I think offense is something that is gonna, come throughout the season. I mean, we played together last year, but I really think like the defense was something that had kind of been up and down and not up to par like it was last year. So I really feel like that game was really, we just kind of stepped up. We had fun playing defense, and we were a little more aggressive than we were. So I think that made it kind of fun. So I just think taking that step in defense will, project us to that next level and help us.
How do you, kind of as a leader on this team, emphasize that to the rest of your teammates?
I think just putting all my effort into defense. We know we would rather us try super hard on defense and then relax on offense. There's no break on defense. We're trying to, our defense influences our offense, and our defense, impacts our offense. So just kind of having that whole mindset of in the post, being able to front my girl, get around and get steals, can help the guards push it and that kind of thing.
There's already been a few injuries to start the season. Do you feel like it's been difficult to adapt with those rotations, or do you feel like it kind of only makes you stronger heading into conference play?
I feel like it really makes us stronger because I feel like people are getting more minutes now, and I really think that will really be able to help us make our bench deeper, especially when we get into conference play when everybody's really good. So I really feel like just kind of, Gretchen, Corey, Shay, Hobby, getting those minutes as new people coming on it's been really beneficial.
As we do get closer to conference play, how important are these final out of conference games as you get in the tough stretch of the season?
I think they're really important. All game, we go into every game, looking at them like it's the national championship game. So just kind of having that mentality of being able to go in and do what we need to do regardless of who it is. So I think these next couple non-conference are just super important, just because it'll help get that record higher, get that net, all that technical stuff. I think it'll really help with that.
What's just maybe the last week too been like, being maybe more practice time? How's that sort of helped you make the progress that you're looking to make and going into December?
I feel like it's been really helpful. I think we made a lot of progress over the last week, just being able to practice and not have a game and not have to scout. So we've been able to really kind of watch a lot of film and fine tune a lot of those little things that we weren't really doing well, like the defense. So just being able to kind of get back to the basics and work on breaking stuff down I think it was really helpful, and I think it showed against Canisius.
I've heard that rebounding has kind of been a big emphasis for Shauna this week. How have the bigs reacted to that? Because essentially you kind of guys know you're talking about you guys.
Yeah. I think, we reacted really well. We have a lot of practice players that are really big, strong guys. So it's been, kind of difficult in practice, but I think that only prepares us for the games against, some of those bigs, and especially conference play when everyone's pretty much taller than all of us. So, we take it as a challenge. That's kind of our job. That's, I take it as my role. So just kind of being able to fine tune that and getting there and do it.
You talk about getting steals and getting out and running. We saw you kind of leading the break a few times. Is this a new addition to Kendall Bostic's game?
Probably not leading the break, but just being able to, it's positioning. I mean, it's really all it is, and it leads to defense. And so just being able to be in the right positioning at those times and be able to get around, use my quickness to get around those bigs and get those steals and get it hopefully to Makaira or Jen going down the court. So
but in reality, to kickstart that Phoenix transition, how important is it to start on that side of the ball?
Yeah, I think it's really important. We've been working on a lot, especially Coach Mack has been really kind of helping me just get one or two dribbles out of that rebound, so that it is faster, and Makaira and Jen and Dow and all of them can get up the court. So just being able to be confident with that one or two dribble just to get it out a little bit has been pretty important.
Everybody good?
We were talking to Kendall quite a bit about the defense and kind of getting back to who you guys are on that side of the floor. What's that look like, and why do you feel like you guys were able to do that on Wednesday?
Yeah, at practice, that's all we worked on, just defense and having a lot of intensity on defense. And defense is a part of our identity. We want to get stops and we want to just lock people up. So that's what we worked on a lot at practice, and it did translate to the game.
How much of that is sustainable to carry over game? It sounds like a lot of it's very energy based. Yeah,
it does take a lot of energy for defense, and I feel like defense is also mental too. It definitely helps with mental push, and fighting through fatigue, but it does take a different type of focus to do that. So it's just, again, at practice, just doing that at practice. If we could do that for 3 hours at practice, then we can do it for 40 minutes for a game.
For you personally, what's just kind of the last two games meant for you to kind of get going? What do you feel like you've been able to work on that's benefited you on the court?
Oh yeah, I thank God for that. My coaches and my teammates, they push me so hard in practice and they believe in me. So being able just to get back into it all comes from just staying focused and just trusting the process and having a great staff and great teammates around me.
You guys have already dealt with a lot of injuries so far this year. Has that been difficult for you guys to kind of adjust to, or do you feel like it kind of strengthens you heading into Big Ten play?
Yeah, I feel like having injuries, it definitely strengthens the team, but also it does hurt the team too. But one thing about, Illinois, we always find a way to push through it. And I know Coach Green always says next woman up, and we just continue to be there for each other and push each other in those hard moments.
How much did you guys grow just playing without Makira, who's so important, or Cam, or even Gretchen for a game?
Yeah, I believe we grew a lot, and I know we didn't have her on the court, but she was still there with us, at practice and stuff like that. So Makira, she leaves a great presence on the floor, and playing without that is hard, but it definitely helped us to just come together more and just figure things out.
Coming out of those two high major games, Marquette and Notre Dame, what can you take from that? I know there were losses, but what can you guys take as you get closer to Big Ten play?
Yeah, I feel like it helped us realize that we just got to clean up a few things, but it really did show our fight for those games. Like, we didn't just lay down, we're going to fight to the end. And I'm glad it's the beginning of the season that we have things to figure out, but those were really good games for us, and I just believe it just showed us the simple things that we just got to clean up.
How do you handle, having that defensive responsibility? They like to put sometimes the best wing. You'll take that responsibility. How do you kind of feel about that?
Yeah, I love that. Like, I always want to guard the best player and lock them up. It's just a mentality that I have, and I'm gonna take every role that I am given on this team. So if I gotta lock up the best player, then I'm gonna do that.
How much does that defensive side of the ball kickstart the Phoenix transition, and how important is that to what you guys want to do? Yeah,
defense is very important for Phoenix. Without defense, we couldn't play Phoenix. And the main three things that Coach says before the game is defend, rebound, and run. So we got to get stops so we can get those rebounds and go into Phoenix.